Yo, so if you're just starting out in GTA Online, you may not know what car to buy. There's a lot of vehicles in this game, but there's only a few that you should actually invest in. So in this video, we're going over the top 5 best vehicles for beginners in GTA Online. Starting off at the number 5 spot, we have the Duke of Death. You can pick this vehicle up off of Warstock Cash and Carry for $0. Yeah, that's right, this vehicle is completely free, making it a great first car for players just starting out in GTA 5 Online. And the Duke of Death has some pretty solid armor on it. Nothing too crazy like some of the other vehicles we'll be going over on this list, but for being free, shit, I'm not complaining here at all. It can take up to 9 homing missiles, 3 RPGs, and 7 railgun rounds, which again, for a vehicle that doesn't cost you a single cent is an absolute steal. And then it's also pretty good for protecting you from NPCs. It isn't completely bulletproof. I mean, from the back and the sides, it's pretty well protected actually, but from the front driver's window, it's honestly pretty easy to get shot through, so just make sure to have your back turned on NPCs. But overall, if the very first thing you decide to do in GTA Online is grind out the first and last dose missions, then the Duke of Death is going to help you out big time. And then it's also a pretty fast vehicle for its class. Handling is what you'd expect from a muscle car honestly, but it is pretty quick, so that's nice. So if you legit just started playing GTA and need a first car, then you should for sure get this one ASAP. Or maybe you're just broke as fuck and don't want to spend any money. Regardless, the Duke of Death is free, so you cannot go wrong with this one. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the armored kuruma. You can pick up this iconic ass car up off of Southern San Andreas for around $700,000 without the trade price, and with the trade price, it's going to cost you $525,000. Now this vehicle right here is going to be perfect for going up against NPCs because it's basically bulletproof. Not completely bulletproof, like there are some angles where you can get shot through in this thing, but for the most part, the armored kuruma is pretty much bulletproof. Whether you're grinding it out in an invite-only lobby or maybe even some missions or heists, the armored kuruma is one of the best choices when it comes to PvE combat. If you were to normally go headfirst into an area swarmed with enemies, then you're gonna die pretty quickly, right? But with the armored kuruma, it's pretty unlikely that you're gonna die. And in case that wasn't good enough, you can even shoot out of this thing too. Now, you cannot throw sticky bombs because of the armor plating, unfortunately, but still, the fact that I can use my AP pistol or even my tactical SMG while inside of this vehicle makes it so OP against NPCs. Like I'm telling you guys, this vehicle is insanely good. Like even me, I've been playing this game for years, right? I'm over level 400 and I still find myself coming back to this vehicle because it's just so damn good against NPCs. But aside from being pretty much bulletproof, the armored kuruma is actually a pretty fast vehicle as well. It's nowhere near the fastest vehicle in GTA Online, but for getting around the map during the OG high setups or maybe even the Dr. Dre contract, shit, it's pretty quick for that. And it also has some pretty solid handling as well. Definitely better than the handling on the Duke of Death. Like if you needed to go off-roading, the armored kuruma does a pretty decent job of that too, so this car is great. And I'm sure that most of you guys playing GTA Online are solo players just like me. But just in case you're blessed enough to still have some homies who play the game, the armored kuruma is a 4-seater, so that's definitely nice for packing in all the boys during something like the OG high setups. Gonna be good for saving some gas right there. If you live in Cali like me, you already know. Now the main downside to this vehicle is that it unfortunately cannot take any explosives. No sticky bombs, RPGs, homing missiles, absolutely none of that. Like one hit from any of those and this car is donezo, making this a terrible choice for going up against other players. Don't worry though, if you're looking for something that can actually save you from oppressor griefers, then you're gonna want to wait up for the next car on this list. But anyway, for PvE situations such as heists or contact missions, the armored kuruma is easily one of the best vehicles in all of GTA 5 Online. At the number 3 spot, we have the nightshark. You can pick up this absolute beast of a vehicle off of Warstock Cash and Carry for a little over $1.2 million. Now, the main reason why you're gonna want this vehicle is because it's amazing for free mode lobbies. I'm pretty sure you guys already know how toxic free mode lobbies get nowadays. All these goddamn oppressor griefers going around taking your ass out. Well, with the nightshark, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for them to get your ass. It can take up to 27 homing missiles, 20 railgun rounds, and 9 RPGs. An Oppressor Mark II only holds up to 12 homing missiles at a time. So if an Oppressor Mark II griefer really wanted to take your ass out that bad, then they would need to spawn it back in twice. So in terms of explosive resistance, you cannot go wrong with the nightshark. The nightshark is also pretty fast for an armored vehicle, definitely faster than the regular insurgent. And since it's low to the ground, the handling is pretty solid as well. Like it turns really easily and this thing's actually pretty fun to drive around in. Now, one pro tip I'm gonna give you guys is that when you're customizing it, do not throw on any armor plating. Trust me, this is just a waste of your money right here. So the reason why I originally throw them on was because I thought it was gonna turn this thing into an armored kuruma 2.0. I thought it was gonna not only keep me protected from explosives, but also from bullets. But no, the armor plating is literally just a cosmetic thing. Like you can still shoot right through it. And if you happen to be playing on a console like me, then you can just lock onto whoever's driving it and take him out so easily. On top of that, you can't shoot any weapons or throw any sticky bombs out of the nightshark when you throw on that armor plating. So not only are you vulnerable to bullets, but you can't even protect yourself. So do yourself a favor and don't even throw on that armor plating, please. I also want to mention that the nightshark does have some machine cannons on the bottom of it, but they're whatever honestly. So your best friend here is going to be sticky bombs. Overall, I freaking love the nightshark and I think a lot of you guys will too. So if you want to stay safe from griefers, then definitely make sure that you buy one of these. For the number 2 spot, we have the brickade 6x6. Now, while you can buy it off of Warstock Cash and Carry for $1.5 million, I'm going to highly recommend that you do not do that. Instead, you're going to want to come over to this location on your map right here to get started on the first first dose missions. There's 6 of them in total, and after completing all of them, you're going to be rewarded with the brickade 6x6 that will be sitting inside of the freak shop. You just got to go to one of these 3 locations on your map and steal some supplies. Then all you have to do from here is walk on up to Mutt and pay him $750,000 to convert it into the acid lab. That's half the price of what you would have paid on Warstock, plus you make like $600,000 from doing the missions for the first time. So yeah, do yourself a favor and just do the missions. Anyway, the brickade 6x6 has a whole lot to offer. First of all, if you throw on the armor plating upgrade, it becomes the second most armored vehicle in the entire game, taking up to 48 homing missiles. On top of that, it can also take well over 100 railgun rounds. It took like 106 when I tested it, so yeah, you should be pretty good riding around in this thing. The brickade 6x6 also has bullet resistant windows, and while they're of course not bulletproof, the armor plating helps cover them up big time. Plus, the brickade 6x6 is a pretty tall vehicle, meaning that it's not going to be so easy for someone to take your ass out in this thing. You can also throw on proximity mines, which are going to come in clutch if you ever end up in the middle of a chase. So like basically, if you're the one being chased, you can just press in the left stick and these mines are going to shoot out of the back of it. And when someone happens to go over them, it's going to slow them down for you, helping you get away. The ones that I prefer to use are EMP mines, because when someone goes over them, they're unable to accelerate their car for a good 5 minutes. And then you can even throw on a ramp on the front of the brickade 6x6. It's a pretty solid ramp, you know, like it gets the job done, of course. Definitely pretty fun for when you're driving into oncoming traffic or just trying to get through the cops. But me personally, the Phantom Wedge has a way better ramp. So yeah, the brickade 6x6 is definitely a really good vehicle. While it's not as fast as something like the Nightshark that we just went over, this is going to be a great option for players who maybe just don't want to engage in combat at all. Because with this thing, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to be dying in a free mode lobby. I'm just telling you all that right now. But the main reason why you're going to want this vehicle isn't so much for the badass armor that it offers, but more so for what's stored in the back of it. That's where the acid lab is, and this is by far one of the best businesses in all of GTA 5 Online right now, especially for beginners because it's so easy to manage. I'm not going to go too in depth with the money making part of this vehicle since I already have a guide on it on my channel, but I will tell you guys that you can make up to a very easy $530,000 per sell with this business. So if you want to learn more about that, then definitely be sure to go check that out after this video. It'll be linked down below in the description. Just like I always do, I'm throwing in an honorable mention here, and for this video, that's going to be the Bati 801. You can pick this bike up off of Southern San Andreas for only $15,000. Now you guys may be thinking that this looks just like a regular ass bike, but yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, it is one of the best bikes in the game. It's pretty fast, has some really good handling, and again, it's only $15,000, making it one of the best bang for your buck vehicles in all of GTA 5 Online. But it cannot take any explosives. There's no Amani tech, no armor plating, none of that shit here. So why is it even being featured in this video? Well, this bike right here is actually gonna make you money, well over the $15,000 you paid for it and much more. See, every week there's a brand new weekly update that drops in GTA Online, and every week you're gonna find this purple clock icon somewhere on your map. If you go over to the location on your map and drive into this purple area, this is the standard time trial, and for completing this correctly, you can make right around $100,000 in just a few minutes. If you guys are curious on how to complete them every single week, y'all should definitely be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I post a weekly money guide video every Friday morning going over how to complete each week's standard time trial, as well as a whole bunch of other money methods. So yeah, definitely be sure to subscribe for that. Now, for the #1 spot on this list, it's the Sparrow. You can pick this helicopter up off of Warstock Cash and Carry as an add-on for the Kosatka for a little over $1.8 million. Now, this right here is one of the best vehicles for grinding in GTA 5 Online. First of all, unlike most other aircrafts in this game, the Sparrow is so easy to call in. You just open up your interaction menu, go to services, Kosatka, and you can request your Sparrow right there. And it spawns in right next to you just like a personal vehicle does, so that makes it really convenient. On top of that, it's also one of the fastest helicopters in all of GTA 5 Online. So this is really going to come in clutch for whenever you're trying to get to the other side of the map quickly. Now, unfortunately, this helicopter cannot take any explosives, but you can throw on countermeasures which help out big time. So as long as you throw those on, you shouldn't have to worry about someone taking your ass out in this thing. And then you can also throw on homing missiles. These homing missiles honestly aren't the best like in terms of their tracking, but they are unlimited and you can spam them all you want, so they do still get the job done. Overall, you definitely want to make sure you throw them on regardless. Now guys, while all of that is pretty good for grinding stuff like security contracts, auto shop contract preps, VIP work, all that good stuff, where the Sparrow really shines is when you're grinding out the Cayo Perico heist. Like I mentioned earlier, you buy the Sparrow as an add-on for the Kosatka, and so it's going to be stored inside of it, meaning that right after starting up a heist prep, you can hop in your Sparrow and take off right away. That's a lot faster than having to call in a dinghy and spending time going to the shore, or even leaving a vehicle on top of your Kosatka. You just hop in the Sparrow real quick and you're out and ready to go. And then same thing when you're coming back to your Kosatka. You just want to fly or hover right over the top of it and then press right on your D-pad to land your Sparrow inside of it. Super convenient vehicle for the Cayo Perico heist, as well as just most other things in GTA Online. Now yeah, having to buy a Kosatka and a Sparrow isn't very cheap, but even though the Cayo Perico heist just got a massive nerf, it's still a pretty solid way to make some money, especially if you play solo. Luckily for you guys, I've got a guide showing you how I started out as a level 1 on a brand new account and worked my way up to $2.2 million pretty quickly. So if that sounds interesting, then you'll definitely want to click on the video on screen right now.